Before we go anywhere, let's take a breath together. Inhale through your nose and slowly exhale. Good. Last episode, I told you about my 25-year research. Today, I want to talk about something that's underneath all of that. Something that most people don't even realize is there. And it's this. Where did your beliefs actually come from? Not the spiritual beliefs you've chosen, but the fundamental beliefs about yourself. About whether you're worthy, about whether your voice matters, about whether it's safe to be different. Those beliefs. Most of you didn't choose them, you inherited them, and they're living in your body right now. So this episode is about understanding how that happened and what it's cost you. So before you could think for yourself, before you could question anything, before you could even understood what beliefs were, you absorbed messages about who you are, about what you're allowed to want, about whether your voice matters, about what happens if you're difficult or different. These messages came from your family, your religion, your culture, your gender. They came through what was said to you and what was never said. They came through what you were allowed to do and what you weren't. They came through watching how people around you responded when you tried to speak up, when you tried to be yourself, when you tried to believe in something different. And here's the thing no one talks about. Your nervous system was listening the whole time. Your body was learning what is safe, learning what was dangerous, learning what to do to survive in your family, in your religion, and in your culture. I grew up in a household where women's voices didn't matter. My dad was the authority. My mom, brilliant, capable, and more than enough, learned to suppress herself. And I watched that. I learned it. The message was clear enough, though it was never spoken out loud. Your voice doesn't belong at the table. Your opinion isn't as important as a man's. Keep the peace. Don't make waves. Don't be difficult. And then, layered on top of that came religion. You're born sinful. You need approval from the outside. Don't question authority. Obedience, not independence. So by the time I was a teenager, my nervous system had a very clear job. Keep Holly small. Keep her quiet. Keep her from being judged or put down. And it did that job very well. I was definitely the quiet person in the classroom that sat in back. For decades, I let other people control what I did. Even in my own business. The thing I built, the thing that was supposed to be mine, I let others have their way. I was more focused on making sure everyone was happy in the space, making sure I wasn't being judged, making sure I wasn't putting myself out there in a way that could be questioned. I hate confrontation. I still do. I still do. I definitely don't shit where I eat. And that's different. You know, it's learning when to argue, when not to. This is a little bit different than that. But because the moment someone would challenge me, the moment someone would throw back my words in my face to prove themselves right, my nervous system would shut down. I would freeze. I would open my mouth and nothing would come out. My body wouldn't let the words come out. And I would feel like I was wrong, even though I knew I was right inside. And that's what inherited conditions inherited conditioning does. It doesn't affect your thoughts, it affects your nervous system's ability to express what you know to be true. Living inside this conditioning cost me anxiety, a constant background hum of don't mess up, don't be seen, someone might judge you. Overwhelmed because I was consistently managing other people's emotions, other people's needs, and other people's opinions of me. Disconnection from myself because I wasn't allowed to know what I wanted, what I believed, and what I needed. Loss of power because I'd given it all away to my family, to my religion at the time, to other people's energy. I spent years, decades, letting my nervous system's fear run my life. And the worst part, I didn't even know it was happening. I just felt anxious, overwhelmed, and small. And I thought it was my fault. I thought something was wrong with me. It took me a long time to see the pattern, but once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. The message I inherited, your voice doesn't matter, be small, don't be different, it showed up everywhere. In my business, where I let others make decisions, I didn't do what I want because other people didn't like it. In my relationships, where I deferred instead of stated what I needed. In my spiritual path, where I searched and searched because I didn't trust my own knowing. In confrontations where I froze instead of speak. The pattern was protect yourself by being invisible. I did that the best. And my nervous system got it really. It was really good at that job. Over the past decade, I started to wake up. Not all at once, but gradually. I started noticing the patterns in people. I learned to read people's energy. And I could tell who was coming from a place of projection and who was trying to prove themselves right at my expense. And so I learned a coping mechanism. I could read them. I could tiptoe around them. And then I would do my own thing. I kept me safe. It protected me from confrontation. But here's what I realize now, that that's still just managing a symptom. It wasn't healing the wound. The wound was that my nervous system wouldn't feel safe to speak, to be seen, to be different. So even when I learned to read narcissists to protect myself, I was still operating from a place of fear. I was still letting fear run the show. Real healing meant something different. In the past couple of years, something shifted. I started giving myself permission to be more visible, more polarizing, more me. Not recklessly, not without thought, but with the understanding that my beliefs are valid, my voice matters. Not everyone needs to agree with me, and that's okay. I still struggle with confrontation. I still freeze at times when someone challenges me aggressively, because that's a nervous system pattern. And nervous systems patterns take time to rewire. But I'm doing the inner work to change it. I'm learning to trust my knowing even when my body is scared. I'm learning that just because someone throws my words back at me doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It means their nervous system is triggered and they're projecting. That's about them and not about me. So therefore now I know, and whether they do it or not, I walk away, I know they're not ready for it. But I'm no longer blaming myself for that. And here's what I want you to understand. Most of the anxiety you're carrying, most of the overwhelm, most of the feeling of not being enough, it's not random, it's not a personal failure, it's not because something is wrong with you, it's because your nervous system has learned to be small. It learned that being yourself wasn't safe. It learned that your voice didn't matter. It learned that the way to survive was to disappear. And now every time you want to speak up, every time you want to be seen, every time you want to express what you actually believe, Your nervous system your nervous system goes into protection mode. It freezes, it shuts down, it tells you don't do this, it's not safe. That's not weakness, it's survival. Your nervous system was protecting you, and that's what it's supposed to do. But here's the thing. You're not 14 anymore. You're not in a house where your voice didn't matter, although I am still in the house. But I know how to handle it now. I know my voice does matter. You're not a kid being told what to believe. You're an adult. You're capable. You're allowed to have your own beliefs. And most importantly, your nervous system can learn that it's safe to be seen. Your body can learn that expressing yourself doesn't mean abandonment. Your voice can learn that being different is not the same as being wrong. But that learning happens through awareness and practice, not through thinking about it. Through feeling it in your body, through slowing down, through regulation. That's the rest of the series. That's what the rest of the series is about. Understanding where the beliefs come from, and then slowly, gently, consistently rewiring your nervous system so that you can actually be yourself. I'm telling you this now because understanding the origin of your beliefs is the first step to questioning them. Next episode, we're going to talk about religion and what it actually gave us and what it took away. We're going to look into the gifts and the costs, because some of what you inherited was beautiful. Community, ritual, a sense of something sacred. But some of it was designed to keep you small. You need to know the difference. You need to see it clearly so you can choose what to keep and what to release. So before we close, I want you to sit with something. Not to answer, but just to notice. Where in your life are you still small? Where are you still protecting yourself from being invisible? Where are you freezing instead of speaking? Where are you letting other people's energy run your life? And here's the bigger question. What would it be possible? What would be possible if your nervous system felt safe to be fully you? Sit on that. So let's close the way we close every episode in this series by moving out of your head and into your body. Because everything we just talked about, it can stay as understanding, or it becomes something your nervous system knows. And when your nervous system knows it's safe, everything begins to shift. So find a comfortable position wherever you are. Again, if you are driving, please don't close your eyes. Don't rest your hands, keep them on the steering wheel. But for the rest of you, rest your hands, let your shoulders drop, and let your jaw unclench. We're going to do 3 breaths together with a slight pause. Just 3, and that is all we need. So first breath, inhaling slowly through your nose, holding at the top, and exhaling through your nose all the way out. Second breath in through your nose, hold, and release. One more in, hold, and release. Good. Notice what that feels like. That's your nervous system remembering that it's safe, that you can be here, you can be present, and you can be you. And that safety is available to you anytime you need it. 3 breaths, it's all it takes. So I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for sitting with me through the uncomfortable parts. If something came up, if you recognize yourself in what I described, if you feel that you freeze in your own body and you realize you're still small, that's awareness. And awareness is where everything changes. Next episode, we're going deeper into what religion actually gave us and what it cost us. We're going to look at the gifts because some of them were real and some are wounds. Both. Because understanding both is how we get free. But I want to say something before we go. If this landed for you, if you started seeing the pattern, if you're feeling like maybe you've been carrying something that isn't actually yours, know that you don't have to figure this out alone. Aligned to Wellness is designed for exactly this work. It's a practice-based membership where we move through these realizations together, and not just intellectually, but somatically. We do the nervous system regulation. We build practices that rewire your body's response. We create community with people who are on the same journey. Everything I'm teaching in this series, we go deep in there. We practice it, we integrate it. We actually change your nervous system over time. If you're interested, the link is below in the description. But whether or not you join, keep watching. Because the most important thing right now is that you start seeing the patterns. You start recognizing what you inherited. And you start giving yourself permission to be fully, unapologetically you. If this landed, please share with someone who might need it. Leave a comment. Tell me what you recognize yourself. I read every one, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.